So in this video, we're going to have a look at finding the volume of a cylinder. So if we remember back, our volume formula for a prism is V equals A by H, or we could just write it as AH. So volume is equal to area by height. That area being the cross-sectional area on the front there, and height being the height that runs perpendicular from that area. So the height doesn't necessarily have to be up and down. For example, in this example here, 25 here is at height because it runs perpendicular or at a right angle to this circular face that we're looking at. So a cylinder uses the same formula, but this area part is slightly different. So for a cylinder, our area is the area of a circle. So A equals pi r squared. So we can substitute this in as A, because A equals this, so that means we can substitute that in there. So we can rewrite this equation as volume is equal to pi r squared multiplied by the height. So let's do this for this example here. So 5 here is our radius, and we have 25 as our height. So our volume is equal to pi, and let's put 5 in the brackets there, squared, multiplied by the height. Now it's important here that we only square our 5 value. We don't square pi multiplied by 5 because that will give you completely different values for this formula. So rewrite that as V equals pi, 5 squared is 25, and then our height is also 25, so let's multiply that by 25. So I'll move this up the top here. So when we've got pi times 25 multiplied by 25, let's put a little multiplied sign in there. We don't need it, but let's do it anyway, just to keep it consistent along here. So pi multiplied by 25 multiplied by 25, it doesn't matter which order we're multiplying the numbers in by. Pi times 25 times 25 is the same as 25 squared, or 25 by 25, and then multiply by pi later. So let's do this first, that 25 squared. Keep it as V equals 25 squared, gives us 625. And then we can just put our little pi sign at the end there, because if there's no operation, that means we're multiplying. So now our last step is to solve for this, simplify this. So our volume is equal to 625 multiplied by pi, which rounded to 2 decimal places will give us 1,963.50. And this isn't an exact value, but this is just rounded to the nearest 2 decimal places. So we are missing something here. So our last step is to add our units. So we've got our meters, because that's what we've got up here, meters. But because we're dealing with volume, it has to be meters cubed. So we always use, so the number that goes above the power, the number that goes as the power is the same amount of dimensions we're looking at. So we're looking at a 3-dimensional shape here. So that means it's meters to the power of 3.